Ever wished you could just like command an audience online?
Totally.
Effortlessly switch scenes, have awesome visuals, like a total pro,
Yeah.
but without needing a Hollywood budget.
Right.
Well, today's deep dive is going to show us how
Yes.
you sent in a great resource.
Mhm.
It was this talk with Don Pikula, who's basically an online presentation wizard. So,
And what's really cool about Don is that he's all about making this
yeah.
accessible to anyone.
Yes.
Like, we're not talking about, like, you need to rent out a studio or anything.
Oh, great.
He
Exactly. He really emphasizes that high-quality online presentations don't have to break the bank.
At all. Yeah.
So in this deep dive, we're focusing on 3 of Don's key insights.
Okay.
The right equipment, and without the crazy price tag,
Right.
how to make your visual space really work for you.
Yeah.
And the magic of using software like OBS,
Okay.
ready to get started.
Absolutely. Let's break it down.
Okay, first up, the gear. Don actually recommends a specific $65 camera.
I know, right?
I know, you'd think you'd need to spend thousands.
It's kind of mind-blowing.
Yeah.
But he actually compared this budget-friendly camera to one costing $8,000.
Wow.
And in his setup, the cheaper one came out on top.
Wow. That's
Stresses that good lighting makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
Often more so than dropping a ton of cash on a fancy camera.
So, about that lighting.
Yeah.
His studio setup is literally 2 $15 lamps from Walmart.
It just goes to show
I love it.
that creativity can go a long way.
Yeah.
You don't always need the most expensive equipment to get great results.
Totally.
Sure.
And the theme of affordability continues with his microphone recommendation.
Okay.
He suggests a microphone for under $100
Wow.
that delivers professional quality audio.
Nice.
So you got your video sorted, your audio's crisp.
Yeah.
What about that all-important background?
Ah, yes. The visual environment. Don's really big on having a dedicated presentation space.
Okay.
Somewhere you can focus without distractions.
Yeah.
And you know that looking down on your audience effect that happens when your camera's too low.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not the most flattering angle.
He's got a simple fix for that. Just make sure your camera's at eye level.
Oh.
It subtly changes how people perceive you,
Interesting.
helping you connect better with your viewers.
It's all about those small details making a big impact.
Totally.
Now let's talk about the background itself.
Okay.
Don encourages people to go beyond, like, a plain wall or a static logo.
Yeah.
He's a big believer in dynamic, engaging backgrounds.
He makes a great point.
Mm-hmm.
Online, you've got to work harder to keep people engaged.
Yeah.
And a boring backdrop just won't cut it.
He suggests using a photo of somewhere meaningful, like your favorite library.
So nice.
In fact, he shared this great story
Mm-hmm.
about how he got access to this beautiful library for his own backdrop.
Okay.
Turns out his aunt's best friend managed the building.
It's amazing what opportunities can open up when you leverage those personal connections.
Right.
But even if you can't score a library photo shoot, Don's got more tricks up his sleeve.
Oh, absolutely. He's really into AI tools for creating custom backgrounds.
Oh, cool.
He actually created a magical looking castle library backdrop using AI.
Wow.
Totally unique and visually stunning.
And Don also champions incorporating a green screen.
Oh, yeah.
But before you picture one of those bulky, expensive things, guess what he uses?
What?
A $26 green tablecloth.
I'm sensing a theme here.
I know, right?
Don is the king of resourcefulness.
He is for sure.
A method.
And that resourcefulness shines through in his software choices, too.
Mm-hmm.
He credits a lot of his online presentation success to OBS,
Okay.
which is this incredibly powerful,
Yeah.
and might I add, free software.
It's amazing, yeah.
It's what lets him achieve those dynamic transitions and professional level production value.
Yeah.
What's so interesting about OBS is it's been popular with gamers and streamers for a while.
Right.
But Don's really pioneered
Yeah.
adapting it for online presentations.
Yes.
It's a game changer.
So imagine being able to switch between camera angles during your presentation,
Mm-hmm.
just like they do on TV. That's what OBS allows you to do with its scenes feature.
It makes things so much more dynamic and interesting for the viewer.
Yeah.
They're not just staring at one static view the whole time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to make those scene transitions super smooth, Don uses a tool called a Stream Deck,
Oh, cool.
which acts like a remote control for OBS.
It's all about removing that potential for any technical hiccups.
Yeah.
So you can just stay focused on your message and your audience.
Now, before we move on to how Don maximizes those visuals,
Okay.
I want to touch on one more crucial thing that he brought up.
Mm-hmm.
Having a co-host
Oh, especially in an online environment, right?
Especially in an online environment.
Things happen, like, your internet could drop, your cat could walk across your keyboard.
Your cat could walk across your keyboard.
All
Exactly.
sorts of chaos.
Exactly. Having a co-host means that if something unexpected occurs,
Yeah.
they can seamlessly take over,
Right.
keeping the audience engaged and making sure nobody feels like they're missing out.
Adds a layer of professionalism.
Totally.
Makes you look extra prepared.
Yes.
It's a win-win.
Yeah. Ready to get into Don's visual magic.
Absolutely. Let's dive into how he creates those captivating backgrounds and animated logos.
Let's do it.
So Don's all about those personalized, engaging backgrounds. Like we were saying, ditch the generic virtual backgrounds or worse, a messy room.
Oh, yeah.
And here's something I found really intriguing.
Mm-hmm.
Don intentionally blurs his backgrounds a bit.
Yeah.
Why do you think he does that?
It's actually really clever.
Okay.
He says that a slightly blurred background helps the viewer focus on him, the speaker.
Ah, okay.
It minimizes distractions without being too obvious.
Right.
And plus, he achieves this blur by saving the image at a lower resolution.
Oh, okay.
No fancy software needed.
It's like a subtle visual cue, guiding the viewer's attention exactly where you want it. A sharp, detailed background can sometimes compete with the speaker for attention.
Right.
But a bit of blur creates that visual hierarchy.
Yeah, and speaking of visual cues, Don uses another cool technique to add interest.
Okay.
Animated logos.
Oh, yeah?
They'll see his logo subtly moving behind him during his presentations.
I was picturing some complicated animation software.
Yeah.
But of course, Don keeps it simple and affordable.
You know what? He actually creates the animation using a green screen trick in PowerPoint.
What?
It's surprisingly easy to do, and he even offers a template to get you started.
Don's really great at breaking down these seemingly complex techniques into manageable steps.
Yeah.
Makes them feel so much more accessible to anyone.
So we've got our backdrop, our animated logo. Now it's time for what Don calls the icing on the cake.
Okay.
Using OBS to create those professional level transitions and effects.
This is where his background in the world of streamers and gamers really comes in handy. OBS is such a powerful tool, and he's found so many innovative ways to use it for online presentations.
Remember those scenes we talked about earlier?
Yes.
The ones that let you switch between different camera angles?
Mm-hmm.
Well, Don sets those up using OBS.
Makes sense.
It's like having a behind-the-scenes crew managing your transitions, just like on a TV production.
Keeps the visuals dynamic and engaging.
Yeah.
The viewer never feels like they're stuck watching the same static view.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And to make those transitions even smoother, he uses a Stream Deck.
Okay.
It's like a remote control for OBS.
Yeah.
Plus, he also sets up hotkeys on his keyboard for quick scene changes.
He mentioned that his friend JD uses a foot pedal for scene transitions.
I like that.
So if you're using your hands to demonstrate something,
Oh, smart.
or if you're holding notes, you can still switch scenes seamlessly.
Right. It's all about finding the methods that best suit your presentation style. Now, one of the things that makes Don's OBS setup so great is that he hardly needs to do any post-production editing.
That's amazing.
And there's one more trick he uses to streamline things.
Okay.
Creating animated lower thirds in PowerPoint.
Oh, interesting. For those who might not be familiar,
Yeah.
lower thirds of those graphics you often see at the bottom of the screen displaying the speaker's name and title. Classic technique used in TV and film.
And Don's figured out how to make them directly in PowerPoint and then integrate them seamlessly into his live presentations using OBS.
Wow.
No need for expensive software.
It really all comes back to Don's core philosophy. Use the tools you already have in creative ways to get those professional-looking results.
Right. So smart.
He even showed how to save a PowerPoint presentation as an MP4 video file.
That's a great tip.
Yeah.
It gives you so much more flexibility in how you share your content. You can upload it to YouTube, embed it on a website, send it directly to clients. The possibilities are endless. So before we jump into the final piece of Don's presentation puzzle,
Okay.
OBS mastery, what are some of the big takeaways for you so far?
I think for me, it's that you don't need a huge budget or fancy equipment to create really engaging and professional-looking online presentations. It's about being resourceful, creative, and finding ways to make the tools you have work for you.
Totally. And Don really drives home the point that it's all about the content and your connection with your audience.
Yeah.
He's just using these tools and techniques to enhance those things.
Right.
now ready to unlock the secrets of OBS mastery.
Absolutely. I'm excited to learn how Don creates those seamless transitions
Mm-hmm.
and dynamic scenes that keep his audience captivated.
All right, so we covered the equipment, we talked visual setup, and now it's time to dive into what Don calls the, game changer for online presentations.
Yeah.
OBS.
And just to reiterate,
Yes.
it's free.
I know.
It's incredible how much power this software packs.
I know.
Especially considering it's completely free to use.
So OBS was initially designed for, folks live streaming video games.
Mm-hmm.
But Don, like a lot of other online presentation pros, realized it could be used for so much more.
The real magic of OBS is that it goes way beyond just sharing your screen or your webcam.
Right.
It gives you the ability to create a truly dynamic and engaging visual experience for your audience.
He walked us through how he sets up different scenes in OBS, which allows you to switch between different views seamlessly.
So cool.
Think about it. You can have a scene for your main presentation, then a scene with a close-up of a product you're showcasing, another scene where you bring in a guest speaker.
Yeah.
The possibilities are endless.
And the best part is, you can set all of these scenes up in advance.
Right.
So when you're live, you're not scrambling to switch between different views.
Right.
It all happens smoothly and professionally.
He even had a scene showcasing his Amazon shopping list.
Oh, wow.
For all the gear he recommended.
That's great.
Talk about next-level organization.
It just goes to show how versatile OBS is. You can truly tailor it to fit your specific needs and presentation style.
And remember that Stream Deck we talked about earlier?
Yeah.
That acts as like a remote control for OBS.
Right.
Making those transitions between scenes even smoother.
Exactly.
And if you don't have a Stream Deck,
Mm-hmm.
Don also showed how to set up hotkeys on your keyboard.
Oh, nice.
For quick scene changes.
The whole point is to eliminate any potential technical hiccups during your presentation.
Yeah.
You want to be completely present and focused on your message and your audience, not worrying about which button to press next.
Now get this.
Okay.
Don even uses OBS for multi-streaming.
Wow.
That means you can broadcast your presentation to multiple platforms.
Yeah.
Like YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, all at the same time.
Talk about expanding your reach.
I know.
Multi-streaming lets you connect with a much wider audience.
Yeah.
All with a single presentation.
Now, Don was upfront about the fact that there is a bit of a learning curve with OBS.
Okay.
It's powerful software,
Mm-hmm.
so it does take some time to master all the features.
That's where Don's guidance is so valuable.
Yes.
He breaks down OBS in a way that makes it much less intimidating.
Yeah.
Offering clear, step-by-step instructions on how to set it up and use it effectively.
And what I appreciate is that he doesn't just tell you what to do.
Right.
He explains why it's important and how it will elevate your online presentations.
Exactly. That's the mark of a true expert.
Mm-hmm.
They not only have the knowledge, but they can also share it in a way that inspires others to learn and grow.
So we've covered a lot of ground in this deep dive.
We have.
We talked about getting the right equipment without breaking the bank, creating a visually engaging environment, and harnessing the power of OBS.
It's amazing what you can achieve with just a little bit of effort and creativity.
What really struck me was Don's emphasis on authenticity and connection.
Oh, absolutely.
You know, he uses all this cool tech and these clever tricks. But ultimately, it's all about creating a more impactful and engaging experience for his audience.
It's about using these tools to amplify your message and strengthen your connection with your viewers.
And as Don said, and I love this quote, you've got to put your message out there.
So true.
Don't let, fear or self-doubt hold you back from sharing your expertise with the world.
He even admitted that he hates watching himself on video.
Oh, really?
But he does it anyway because he knows how important it is to share his knowledge and connect with people.
That's pretty inspiring. It reminds us that we all have something valuable to share.
Totally.
And with the right tools and techniques, we can create impactful online presentations that reach a much wider audience.
For sure.
Now, as promised, one final thought to leave you with.
Okay.
Don mentioned that he prefers to use warm light bulbs rather than daylight bulbs in his setup.
It makes you wonder, what other subtle ways does lighting influence how people perceive you online?